Thank you, thank you. This is Peter Palmiotti, and welcome to Making Comics and Art, episode 377, What I'm Watching. And I jumped in, but that's okay. Let's get going. You could support the channel with a tip jar. There's my PayPal. Click on that and throw me a tip. I'm not making you a bagel, but you know, I provide a service of some sort. Let's just make that a little over. Okay. There's a lot I want to talk about, and let me just go about it. Before I start inking, if you watch my last stream, I was working on this X-Men piece. I sometimes print these out a little too light, and I really want to work on this behind the scenes because there's a lot of details I'll miss otherwise. And anyway, I do want to start really focusing on Faction Paradox, which is the graphic novel I'll be inking for the next few months. And yeah, I might, if I have a guest on, I might jump on a different piece like this. But this page is almost done. I gotta do this spiral, which I'll be doing kind of like that, and then finish off the clock, and then this page will be done. I want to show you. I decided to just do it manually and really get in there and just with a quill and just do a lot of dots and whatnot. I'm guessing our color Stan Kemp will go in and do that as a color hold, so drop out as a color. But yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I got some other pages. This one's coming along. That's going to be fun. But I want to finish off the detail down here before I dive into that. Then there's this other one that I started. But I'll be working on this page today. But this is my other piece that I want to finish. This is my reference of what I want to do. So there's going to be a lot of line work on her. She's going to have mostly black hair. I want to sort of work with the her hair, thicken up some lines and maybe throw in some more thin lines. We'll see. But I want to keep her relatively simple, and she's going to be complicated. And I do want to throw in a bunch of branches up here, and then plus this whole scene up here, it's going to be snowing, so I'll go in with white afterwards. But I'll probably be working on this afternoon. I'm also trying to work in the evenings, sort of like have a 3-tier work day, because I just got a ton on my plate. If you watched my latest short, sort of covers a lot of this, of what I got going on. It's not only for this week, it's it's ongoing. There's individual pieces. Once I'm finished, I'm done, but um, action's ongoing. I'll be getting on Icebox and a bunch of other stuff. Art Cantrell with his projects, few different projects. Uh, yeah. Uh, Also, yeah, I want to do a weekly character, just looking at the link myself. But this is what I'm working on now for today. I don't know if you hear it as my cat sneezing in the background because he woke me up 3 times, no, 4 times overnight because everything outside is ice. But we talked about weather last time. So besides the tip jar, down below in the description box, you could also support me by becoming a patron. And yeah, I want to dive into what we got going on today. It's really about becoming more methodical in how I am approaching my workday, as well as what I'm watching, which a lot of it is while I'm working, but also, you know, afterwards in the evenings when I'm just burnt out working. I turn on some stuff and just relax. But because I got so much work and I really want to do my best work, I got to knock out a couple of the projects, you know. Like the first one will be the sword and sorcery pieces I'm doing. As I just showed you, that's the 4th piece, and that should be the final piece I do for them. I'll be getting copies of that once it's all put together and printed. So I'll have those available for sale. But I also have the original artwork, and the X-Men piece is going back to Joe. He gets the original artwork on that, but I have a Iron Man piece. I'll be inking over Neil George that will be available for sale. Yeah, just a ton of things going on. But yeah, what I'm watching is a combination of things to relax by, but also I really want to get focused on what I watch, because I watch a lot of art videos from various creators. I really want to improve my skills with my penciling, as well as get into coloring. So I want to start creating, much like I want to stream more and stream every workday. I want to start watching a list of certain creators and what they produce, and like, for instance, for David Finch, like, I've watched a lot of his streams and he's fantastic. He's somebody I want to go back to his first video and watch every single one, no matter how long it takes. Because I know I could learn a lot from him. He's a fantastic artist, creator, but he's also somebody who inspires me. Like, there's gotta be like 3 or 4 reasons for me to watch the people I watch. You know, like anything that's hardcore focused on. You know, I'm watching this person to learn from. I'm watching this person to pick up tips, but also to get inspired. Because, you know, I can only work in silence for so long. So I constantly have things going. I constantly have people's videos, the interviews, all that stuff. You know, I've talked about this plenty, but it's important to reiterate and keep reminding myself, you know, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So yeah, I want to put together a list of the people I am following and do want to watch their stuff on a regular basis, and those people that I'll go back and catch up on past videos or streams or whatever. Like the Ink Pulp podcast reminds me very much of the Drinking Drawer that Dan Panosier and gang used to do. I don't believe they're doing it now. I could be wrong. But they do great interviews. They do great just talk sessions, talking about themselves and what they got going on and the craft. I was just listening to the Jake Parker Ink Pulp podcast, and that was really informative. And since I want to get hardcore about what I'm putting into me, you know, in a sense of you know, what I'm taking in. Okay. Yeah, so I'll be making lists, and I'll be streaming here a lot more. And you know, regardless of if it has an effect right away or if it takes time, you know, I'm building up my channel, and it will have a positive result at one point. So I'm not going to worry about in the moment if I got 100 people watching, because that will happen eventually on its own. You know, much like if I'm working on faction every day, eventually I'll get a mass amount of pages done. So there you go. So yeah, like what I'm watching, what is also what I'm not watching, and you know, I mentioned this before. It's like I got like 4 serious projects on my plate, and a bunch of odds and ends on the side of that. And if I'm gonna really focus and concentrate on getting work done on all of them daily, you know, I gotta sacrifice something. And that for right now is, you know, I've stopped watching movies and TV shows. They're great and they're inspiring at times, but you know, it's like I gotta put more time into working and more time into getting focused and more time into, you know, finding ways to get more money coming in. Because the less I have to be waiting on money, and you know, the better it is for me in my career. You know, right now, I got enough food in my place until the weekend. You know, I'm really just working day by day, week by week, having a little money coming here and there. And I just gotta keep on it, keep things rolling. So, you know, if you didn't know, Faction Paradox is an upcoming graphic novel. This is penciled by Les Linden Gardner, and he's fantastic. Yeah, he's penciling this digitally, and for me, a traditional inker, I had to wrap my head around exactly how I'm going to approach his work. And we had a chat a couple of times. It's more of a technical thing. I'm starting to get in sync a bit. I'm very picky about how I do things and have a very certain approach to it. But you know, I'm open to learning and doing things different. It's definitely a challenge, but this is going to be a great book. And you know, when we get enough done, we're going to be crowdfunding it. Just briefly, speaking of crowdfunding, because I know so many people with Kickstarters, both ones that have been around and new ones popping up. I was looking at something on Kickstarter the other day, or tried to. They had a glitch the other day, and that's the first time I went on to Kickstarter and a message popped up that they had issues. I was really worried, not because I have anything going on Kickstarter at the moment, but you know, seems like, you know, there was issues at TikTok, which I think have been cleared up. You know, there was the recent changeover to, you know, TikTok being run in the United States now, I guess. So them having issues wasn't a great sign, but I think they worked it out. So when Kickstarter had issues, you know, it's really the first time I remember them having a problem, but it seems like they're back and up and running, and all is fine. And life goes on. I'm gonna check my messages and whatnot. There's people I talk to. Pretty sure somebody else I talked to wanted to come on, or was willing to come on. I'll look into that. I also do, just private streams with people, work with a friend, colleague, just pass the time. I'll do anything that's outside my norm now and then. But yeah, it's really about getting more into a regular routine for me right now, because it seems like it's too easy that to get knocked off my roulette schedule. But I'm not doing conventions. I'm not traveling abroad. I'm just living my life and working a lot harder than usual. Last month, this month, money-wise, I didn't have really enough coming in. So that's why I'm working on this art on the side, trying to sell more art, trying to get just in the routine of selling art. So more of late. So good on that. As I mentioned earlier, it's like I still don't have control to zoom in, which I guess is my next thing now. But the picture quality is better. You may not be able to see the nuanced details, but there's less of a glare. There's a little glare. All right, let's change up the music a little. Rock is good, but let's try. All right. One of the things I'll probably be working on today is I still got my old repeaters here. I kind of don't. I don't use these particular ones, except for maybe one, which I'll try again to revive. But I got other repeaters. I gotta get them working. So yeah, not watching any TV shows right now, streaming shows. You know, stuff is starting to pop up. Like there's the One Man show I do want to check out. But definitely not this month, probably not next month. Maybe in March I'll start watching shows again. You know, I just want less on my plate and better money coming in. So by streaming more, putting out the word more, that, you know, I get art for sale, comics for sale, stuff I worked on, you know. If I even get one or two new people to see, I think, you know, it might do me good. So there was a little bunched up on the tip. Happens every once in a while. Sometimes you get a stray hair on the tip. I use my X-Acto blade to clean that off. So you probably don't hear one of my neighbors digging into the ice outside. I got to clean off my porch. As I mentioned earlier, Rocket, my cat, my boy, woke me up 4 times overnight, and doesn't really put me in a good mood. I have a litter box inside, but he's an indoor-outdoor cat, and he was just refusing to use the litter box. So on the 4th try, he finally went outside, and he was out for 20 minutes at least. So he did his business, came back inside, and he ate a little bit, and he's been sleeping ever since. Which is good. Instead, I can just focus on work. So the music you're hearing is, I don't know who it's by. I don't think I grabbed that. But I was able to find some royalty music, free music, so I could have something playing. You know, there's some friends of mine that stream and play popular music, but you know, I don't want to or need to get flagged trying to build up my channel. You know, if you're watching this now, later, like this video, share it with your friends, you know, throw it on your socials. Subscribe if you haven't already. Slowly growing, slowly getting, you know, up there. If I want to monetize my channel, you need a lot more watched hours. It's funny, somebody I know did a post about you know, not, what's it called? Well, you know, throw money to a creator while they're doing a live show. And he was saying he would never be doing that. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I would do it if I had extra money. You know, it's not only to be seen by the creators. It's supporting them in a different way. That, you know, it's like a community thing, getting involved in the conversation while it's a live show and all that. So, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But anything that does creators good, I think is a good thing. You know, there's definitely there's channels out there that don't live stream. But if they did, you know, like, it would be a good thing for them. You know, because making comics only makes you so much money. You gotta have some kind of side hustle. Not everybody can be rich off doing this. So yes, I want to be streaming much more throughout the weekdays. I can come and hang out with you guys more often here and get into a real routine. You know, it definitely helps me with my work days if a portion is doing these live streams. You know, I realize not everybody is available to watch the streams in the morning. You know, lots of people work and whatnot. But, you know, people can watch these shows later at any time. I follow enough creators, and I don't always get an opportunity to watch their live shows. So what do you think of the music? It's a loop. I realize, like, unless I have the paid version of StreamYard, that it can only be, I think, 3 minutes, a 3-minute loop. But, you know, as soon as I get things more organized and rolling and get more money coming in, I will get the paid version again. I know it's more expensive, but I think in the long run, it will do me and my channel better. You know, if I do have, like, you know, if I do get up to like 10 people or more showing up here, I'll do longer shows. So if you do watch what I do and you do share it around, something like, you know, you can definitely mention. These are fun characters with masks from the story. There's aliens. There's these people look like from Eyes Wide Shut. What the hell's going on? I divulged no story elements. You just have to wait and see. You know, all goes well. Like, definitely Les is a freaking machine and super fast at what he does. He's the penciler of this book. Definitely faster than me. So he'll be done before me. I mean, you know, that's the case anyway, being the pencil. I love his work. He's, you know, detailed, and it's kind of going to be killing me. You know, I think this is like definitely going to be the biggest challenge I've had in a long while. There's the book. Well, another one of the books I'm working on is called Designated. It's with Mark Torres, created and wrote that. That's a 5-issue series, and I still got 3 more issues to ink of that, and I will be getting back to that this year, as well as issue 2 will be coming out. That's just about as big as this project, but this is definitely a little bigger. It's Designated is 5 issues, and I believe it's like 110 pages or something total. Trying to get the point just right. Point on the brush. Some of this is so tight. I almost want to ink a lot of it with the quill, because, you know, it's a lot more, it's easier to control a lot of small detail with a quill. But both me and Les are big fans of Bernie Wrightson. Not that I'm doing Bernie Wrightson quality just yet. But when the opportunity arises, I'll see if I can pull some of that off. I'm trying to work out some of it. You know, as less. When we were talking, he described it like, you know, he's like, just interpret what I penciled and do your thing, you know. I'm I'm no, say, Tom Palmer. You know, I'm not going to completely throw my style on top of it. But when certain opportunities arise in the work, I will give it more than what's on the page. You know, like, usually, like, if I can just give the work a little extra, I feel like that's a success. So what I like to do is with the brush, if you put a little more pressure on, you could sort of, and this, like, really the camera's got to be right on it, but you put a little more weight onto the brush and sort of work the side of the brush into the lines. Yeah, all right, so there's a lot of detail with the skull that, yeah, a lot of that I'm going to do with the brush. I mean, I'm going to do with the quill. I can outline, at least outline her sleeve. But yeah, there's a lot of wild characters in this story, a lot of wild situations. We got a bunch of covers for it. One of them, you know, the original artist on the book, because it was originally a series through Image, was Jim Calfury, and so he did a new cover for it. Well, I say new cover, but the series was, we had a cover artist for the series. Only 2 issues that ever came out. We did start a 3rd issue. Those pages will be in this book. They're being recolored now. Dan Kemp is our colorist. If you don't know Dan, he's colored Spawn for Image. He's done stuff at Marvel and DC. Spider-Man, a bunch of things. He's great. Him and his brother are both colorists. And sometimes team up and work together, I believe. I got Dan to I inked a Daredevil lecture pinup by my friend Rodney Jacobson, who's a fantastic artist. And Dan colored that. And I shared a piece of it. That's going to be a print. I want to get a stack of pieces and a stack of money, and then order prints of a bunch of different things. So I was mentioning using the side of the brush. It's sort of something you can do along the way and fill in details. Like I said, I'll work on getting the focus of my webcam working here. Definitely, like, you know, if I'm going to be streaming 5 days a week, more than an hour each time, it will definitely be something I want working better. I mentioned, you know, Les being penciler of this book. Me and him wanting to work for years together. And when the writer Finn Clark came to me, you know, he approached the original writer of the series because it's not the original writer working on the graphic novel, but the original writer of the image series, and with the idea of doing it as a graphic novel and a story one and done, with the twist of it being that it's a choose your own adventure ending, or a couple of different endings. You know, it's Faction Paradox. It's got a whole interesting backstory to it. Okay. There's a lot of things I can interpret as dry brush or fine detail. I'll think about it. I'll consider it. Tap this down here. Sometimes the ink dries on the very tip of the brush. I just constantly refresh it. There's no undo though. This is traditional, not digital. Yeah, when we do Kickstart, my pages would be an option, a pledge level. You'll be able to grab an original inks on the book if you're an art collector or just a fan. People are. It's like, do I only have one piece of virtual art from somebody else? I mean, besides the stuff I worked on, I think I only have one piece because I've always been a starving artist. I'm trying to change that now. God damn it. But yeah, I would love to have some work by people, you know, definitely look up to creatively. And there's so many that, you know, Like, imagine having a John Byrne X-Men page. Those are probably too much. Definitely out of my ballpark. Bill Sienkiewicz, Moon Knight would be fantastic, or Elektra would be insane. So many. George Perez. George Perez was the very first comic artist I ever met. And I was super young and shy as a lad. But my dad took me and my brother Jimmy to the first two comic conventions we were ever at. And the very first one was a sort of a dive bomb hotel in Brooklyn, not too far from where we lived. It was off the water, and it was in the basement of the hotel, big ass room. All along the walls were people selling comics, but there, directly in the middle, was George Perez. It was like very bizarre. Yeah, I knew George from his Avengers work. I think he might have just started working on Avengers at that point. I'd really have to do the math, but yeah, he was just sketching something when me and my brother walked up to him. Super nice guy. Yeah. Of course, he passed away, and recently somebody I never met, which is Sal Buscema. So Sal passed away. You know, and I know Sal mostly as the artist of the Hulk, but he's done a whole bunch of things as well as ink his brother John. But he had a long career, tons of work, long life. We could all hope to have even a glimmer of the career he has had. Watching, say hello. I'd like to know who's watching. If you got any questions, I mean, it's also okay if you just, you know, maybe you're at work and sneaking. You have the laptop on your desk while you're doing work, and you don't want the boss to know. Who knows? I don't know your situation. I can't read minds over the internet. I'm so proud of this book. And when I get it done, like I said, it's a ton of work. You know, the pages have a ton of detail on them. This one's actually a little light because it doesn't have a background in this file. But trust me, a lot of these pages are super detailed. but it's the amount of work, how, but more like how beautiful all this is going to look. And I'm just trying to do the best job I can. And because I want to stream every workday now, preferably in the morning, when I don't have a guest, and when I do have a guest, maybe this sort of 4 o'clock slot that most people know when I live stream. But every guest is different based on where they're located and what their schedule is. So it's more open-ended. But if I'm just streaming on my own, or heck, if I just have friends come hang out with me while I stream, I can dictate exactly when I do it. But I like the idea of doing this just before lunch at some point, so I have the rest of the day focus on other things. There's all the other work, or I could continue working on fraction later. But I do want to get the sodium sulfate pen done, which I think I could do in one shot. Fingers crossed. If I could do that, that's at least one thing off my plate. Get that one done. Have that available for sale. I think it's going to be my second favorite, if not maybe my favorite of the 4 pieces that I'm doing for Southern Sorcery magazine. It's a great opportunity. It's like I definitely haven't done enough of my own artwork, and definitely haven't been hired to do that much artwork for somebody. But I'm definitely not the best artist of the gang. I'm just trying to do my best. There's a lot of other illustrators that are going to be in the book that are by far so much better than I. But yeah, if I ever can get more gigs like that, then I will be set. Inking rates, everything has gone down, like, rates in general. But if I can get more work as a penciler inker, and definitely make more money, and definitely not have to worry about taking on so much work. Wouldn't that be the perfect schedule? So I thank you all for coming around. I'm just saying that in general. I'm not leaving. I'm just another artist out there trying to make a decent living for myself. Have a better life. Well, welcome, Tony. Is this the first time you're here? I see you're an artist as well. I'll have to check out your stuff. Are you working on art right now? Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'm just a little channel trying to grow. Putting in a little more effort this year. It's hard being the one and only, as I'm sure you probably know. Too many plates, too many dishes. Most of them break all the time. I'm gonna do the best I can. All right, what else did I want to tackle? Says the bird in the cage. Did it die? I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to review the script. Either that or it's sleeping. I'm not sure. I'm waiting on a cover that was mailed to me, the original pencils. I was supposed to get it already, but because of this snowstorm and everything, you know, and being in a small town in Kentucky, things have slowed down, things are delayed, you know, even our garbage. Is it today? Yeah, well, today we put out garbage, but I'm not even going to bother. Garbage is delayed, like pickup. But I know it's in Louisville, which is the last stop in the usual journey of packages coming to me. If it comes today or tomorrow, or Friday or Saturday, I just hope it's not destroyed. It's coming from my friend Sheldon. So hopefully he packed it up tight. You know, when he sent it off, I don't think there was the weather warnings were as high as they became. But I did say, you know, scan it before you send it off to make sure. It's not jinxing. Oh no. EJB, it's going to come perfectly. And I'm going to have a fabulous time inking it. It's a great cover for his book. The Cult Descent, if I'm correct, is what it's called. It's his book. It's for the second issue. Actually, you know, from what I've seen of the first issue, the second issue is going to look so much better. And I'm not sure if the first issue was colored, but he's got a colorist for the second issue. Figure out some things I want to do with Quill. But yeah, Sheldon, I really like his style. Really gonna have fun with his cover. I got another cover, Mike McMahon, another Blood Force cover. This time for issue 2. So I'll see the second cover I do published before the first. It's great getting these opportunities. The more I do, the more I get. Do the borders first, but because I've been having issues and troubles with my technical pens, I've delayed me doing the borders. I'm much more meticulous on how I do pages and, you know, tackle things. But, you know, I'll work with them and get the issues worked out. You can't have things delay you getting work done. Let's see. Looks like some dry brush stuff. I want to tackle maybe as dry brush, probably as dry brush, but I want to use a less new brush to do that. So I'll just continue with the brush I got and jump around as I do. Because this I only opened a day or 2 ago. Don't want to mess it up just yet. Well, I don't want to mess it up at all, but so because the weather isn't, you know, isn't typical. It's been colder, you know, but it's better than it was a couple of days ago. Because I don't like having my heat on when I stream because it's too freaking loud. I feel the cold slowly taking over the room. I mean, if I was planning to stream for like 3 hours, I would just take a 5-minute break and turn the heat on and, you know, my mic off. But I'm just gonna go a little longer and bear with it. I'm definitely getting hungry, and it's definitely lunchtime here. So no questions? I guess not. It's okay. That's okay. I've talked enough. This book is so much fun to work on over Les's pencils. Ben Clark, he's a good writer. We're also, well, I am. I'm doing another project, a potential project with Finn that we're going to pitch to some comic companies. No specific question. Generally, I appreciate being able to watch you work real time. Great stuff. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, right. Art and comics. Let's see. Surfing and peace signing. Welcome, everyone. Well, I appreciate being appreciated. Yeah, you know, I mentioned I'll fix my webcam. It's the driver. I'm not a tech guy, and apologies, but sometimes just figuring out an issue takes me forever. But can't seem to get the focus to work within the stream. It's like I can do it off stream, but I'll figure it out. And you know, I know I have plenty of friends that know tech stuff, but I don't like bugging people. And some people, it's like, you help me, then I want you to make a cover for me for free. I'm like, no thanks. I'm already not getting the rate I wish I would be able to get. It's fun. I like, you know, I like figuring things out on my own anyway. This way, if it happens again in a different way or whatever, I have a clue as to what exactly to do. It's just because I am swamped at work, and only have so many brain cells, honestly. It's like each day goes by, and it's like, okay, what's the stack of work I didn't get done today? But I'm trying to do better. You know, I've said it plenty. I'm not the fastest inker in the world, but I do believe in quality over all else. But there is a way for me to focus better and get more done. I just have to be more systematic about how I approach my day and my work. So it's kind of the overall of what I'm working on to be more effective. You know, part of like the title, like what I'm watching is like I'm watching a lot less bullshit. Yeah, I'm watching a lot less movies and TV shows. Like they are inspiring, and you know, it's like I have a big love for them just as much as I have a big love for comics and books and all sorts of things. But right now, if I can keep more focused on watching things that will enhance my brain and my skills, then all the better. At least for the next month or two, for sure. So I can get a couple of projects done and be a lot less stressed and more on top of things. I never envisioned I'd have this much work in my career at one time. It's pretty insane. It's pretty stupid. Part of the thing is I'd been paid on a bunch of it ahead of time, like which is a blessing, like that I get advances, but you know, because of just life things, I wasn't always able to get on top of work, and so like currently, you know, technically in my brain for my own personal schedule, I'm behind, but other people are fine, you know, with the pace I'm going. Other people being like, you know, the people I'm working with, because they have their own schedules, you know, that a lot of them have to figure out, like, you know, how they gonna pay for printing and distribution and all that. So, you know, the only thing that's kind of a rush is the fourth sword and sorcery pinup I'm doing, and I hope to get that one done tonight. Actually, it's a pretty cool problem to have, though. Yes. yes. You know, to have so much work, it's a good thing. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Some images blend together for a reason. Like he's got these figures, and there's no separation between this figure and this character there. I could put a subtle separation. I mean, you know, it can be done with color too. I don't have to do all the heavy lifting. All right, so I mean, heck, you know, the colors can choose to throw a white line, or the editor, you know, the writer being the editor, I guess. I forget, he might be the, you know, Finn is the writer and the boss. He might be lettering it. I'm not 100% sure. With our other project, he's lettering that one. You know, with the comic proposal. So I'm not sure if we have a letterer for this yet. But, you know, good ones are easy to find. You know, we got the penciler, inker, me, colorist, writer, of course, the boss. We already have a UK publisher, even though we're going to do a Kickstarter for it that's more for the US audience. Okay. Just separation. And do the headers tend to make the word balloons or just the words? Yeah, if you're a letterer, you're doing the word balloons, you're doing, like, you know, you see a lot rectangles, which, you know, I'm forgetting what that's called. But yeah, they do the word balloons, the boxes. Sometimes the letterer does all the special effects. It depends on the artist, really. Sometimes the artist does the like, call it biff bam boom, whatever sound effects there are in the comic. But definitely the letterer is doing the balloons, and that's a high skill. Like, it can go wrong so many ways. I myself, I'm really picky about how lettering is done, where it's placed. You know, the letterer has to have just as much skill as us, for sure. You know, it's like, I really respect it when there's a good letterer that knows what they're doing. Because, you know, it's like, I've worked with them all in DC. I've had stuff through Image, blah, blah, blah. But more so than not, I've worked on a lot of independent comics. And trust me, like, you know, we're talking individuals, some who are making their first comics. You know, I'll work with anyone. Like, my criteria is, yes, I need to get paid. I don't always ask for top dollar if that's not within their budget. But you know, I've worked with some folks that don't know how to put together a comic until they've done it a few times. I mean, some never learn. some never learn the right way of doing it. You know, there's so many nuances to every part of the process. In many ways, you know, that's why it's better to have a team than to try to do everything yourself. But you know, it's like I eventually will get my own book out. You know, you know, I'll be working with a lot less of a team because I'll be doing a lot of what is necessary. You know, I'll be doing full art as well as writing. I'll have a letter. I'll have somebody doing sort of book production, because that's not my skill. That's not my thing. Although I'll have a lot of my 2 cents and thoughts for sure, you know. But lettering, yeah, lettering's a very important skill. I did, so I worked at Valiant. I was mostly a background inker up at Valiant back in the 90s. And I actually did some lettering placement, which was crazy. But they didn't have anybody at the moment, and I didn't have any inking work at the moment, so they threw some my way. And I definitely did a good job. Just, you know, reading 1,000 comics teaches you things. At this point, I've read thousands and thousands of books. I may have worked on only hundreds, but I've definitely read thousands of them. Yeah, this is a fun page. I mean, to work on as an inker, I can throw down a lot of nuances. It's a lot more organic page than some others that are more technical. And I said earlier, like, you know, the big influence for both me and the pencil of Les and Bernie Wrightson, and you know, some pages coming up that are more in that wheelhouse that I'll be able to really play with. So yeah, if you're still watching or you're just watching now, whatever the case, and you haven't given a video a like yet, please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I'm trying to just grow. I'll be streaming a lot more, preferably every weekday, sometimes in the AM. Right now it's 12 in the afternoon my time. You know, if you're watching from different areas of the world, I have no idea. But yeah, you could also support me by throwing me a tip. There's a PayPal link, or becoming a patron. As soon as I get my act together, I'll be working on a comic over there. There's a couple of posts on there about it. But yeah, I'm trying to get into a regular balance of everything with a ton of work. So it's difficult. I'm only one person in my studio. Eventually, like when I start making better money, I'll get an assistant. When I was working at DC, I was working Aquaman, and that, you know, really became a kind of regular gig, even if we weren't working on every issue consecutively. I had what, 4 different assistants back when. If I get one now, it will be much different, and I need somebody to do a lot of grunt work, maybe you know, some technical art things and whatnots. But yeah, I've gone an hour and a half. I hope you like what I did. You know, it's a start to the page. This shit takes me a long time. But I love it. I love comics. I love working on comics. And I love YouTubing and being here with the community, chit-chatting and having guests on my channel as well. I have over 1,000 videos. You know, a lot of them aren't great. But you know, I appreciate it if you go and watch older videos. Yeah, you know, I'm not a splashy guy, but I've been in business a long time. I've been reading and looking at comics much longer. So I got a certain perspective to things. But thank you again. You know, I'm sure a lot of you, or if not all of you, are artists yourselves. So keep making art, keep making comics. Until next time, have a good day.